Okay, we're good to go. What didn't you notice?
There's no pulse of the magnetic.
Okay, we have it turned off right now,
Right.
but it had been running. We're still picking up a lot of flux, 16 to 17 units of flux, even though the meter is showing there's no magnetism being shown.
Correct.
Keep that on. I want that on when we turn it on. The machine hasn't even turned on yet. So let's turn it on to, we're putting it on to start. This is on power level 4.
Okay.
Now we see that it picks up. Notice it's still pegged at power level 4. It cleared the highest point and the lowest setting on the magnetic flux field. We have this machine which picks up the pulse field.
But we don't hear anything. Oh, there we go. There we go.
Notice how it's constant. It's really heavy right here. Really heavy right here. It goes. It's powerful and missing. The beat is powerful right here. In other words, it's not constant over the entire pad. That's the point where it's the highest. Notice it's low there, high there, low there, low, almost non-existent there. So right here is where we have the lowest flux. This is a power level 4. Okay, and I'm going to turn it off. Okay, so it's turned off. Now I'm going to go up to power level, just 2 more points, to 6.
Did we notice this with the iMRS when we had it off? Did we still hear Electrosmog?
A little bit of flux, but the key thing with the iMRS is you can feel the 12 pulse. The whole concept of a PEMF machine, PEMF stands for what? Pulsed electromagnetic field.
Right.
The whole concept that Dr. Linus Pauling and other people that taught me as my mentors were talking about the importance of not only electromagnetic field, but having that pulse in harmony with the body's biorhythms. Okay? Dr. Pauling made it clear, electromagnetic field can either be polluting and cause harm over the long term, but if you pulse it in a specific frequency structure, that makes it much more beneficial, because what I do in my world is provide minerals that are exactly that. They're pulsing electromagnetic frequencies on a micro scale, very small scale. So this mineral technology has got to go along with, in harmony with, the Earth's magnetic field, what's called the Schumann resonance of 7.83, roughly 8 hertz. And if it's not pulsing in harmony with that, it can do more harm than good. Though initially, you're going to feel something. You're going to feel, oh, this is cool, I feel good. But this is short term. If you do it long term, it's my opinion that it can very much cause harmful problems. Okay? Because it's like, you got to have it in harmony. The whole concept of sickness and illness, dis-ease, is disharmony. Okay? Now I've got to make this clear why I'm a proponent of the QRS, not these other, what I call wannabes. The QRS was made specifically and researched by Dr. Linus Pauling before he passed away in the early 90s. Dr. Pauling, let's turn this off because
turning it off won't get rid of it. You have to turn. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so it's still pulsing out a strange thing even after it's turned off. It's kind of winding down. What Dr. Pauling taught me before he passed away, he said there is technology. So we have studied, we meaning Dr. Fisher and other colleagues in Germany, about the role of electromagnetic fields harmonic with the body. He said to me, the technology, we are awaiting our international patents. When they're issued, I will share it with you. And he quoted to me on a phone conversation, he said, this has the potential to change the world for the better. in so many different ways. He was way excited about this.
This is in 90, 91?
90, 91, I believe. Okay. 91, maybe 92. If my memory serves me right, I think Pauling passed away unexpectedly in 93. He went to the other side. I was notified of it. I was sad. The point is, I never got to know his technology he was telling me about until the maker of this video, she's doing this with me, Dr. Bader, and my colleague Bill, brought it to me and says, look, what do you think? And another pulse electromagnetic field. I've looked at them all before. I wasn't happy with them. But when I was looking through the literature and found Dr. Pauling all over this and the research patents and 300 plus research documents done giving the 5 international patents, I woke up and took notice of it. I want to mention on this is so very important because one of the patents that has been proven by the QRS technology is the patent that is granted because it removes electrosmog from the body. And this is a key thing. Nobody else in this field can claim this because nobody else has this patent that shows through the research. You can check through this machine right here, you can check the level of electrosmog that you go through and your body incorporates on a scale as you go through your day. If you're sitting in front of a computer every day doing your job, or sitting in front of a television set, you're going to be absorbing electrosmog. And at the cellular level, that electrosmog starts to shut down the cellular processes. Primarily, it shuts down your what's called your ATP production functions. Adenosine triphosphate is what ATP does. So when you have electrosmog in your body and shuts down your ATP, the ATP is what gives you the energy. That's why you kind of feel logy and tired after watching 2 or 3 hours watching being a couch potato. You don't feel energized, or sitting in front of a computer screen. Or worse, in a place where it's full of Wi-Fi signals. Wi-Fi is electromagnetic smog, electrosmog. Okay, folks, just because you don't see it and feel it and hear it, doesn't mean it's not affecting your cells at the micro level. Okay, because their cells are electronic. They pulse. They have frequencies. So you got to ask yourself when you see this video, am I doing something to enhance this electronic pulse signaling of my cells, or am I doing something that may potentially damage it over the long term? Why I'm a proponent of the quantum resonance system, the QRS pad, because in my research, and it's been, extensive research, folks, over 15 decades, or 15 years, a decade and a half, I have seen how important it is to have that harmony at the cellular level. Okay. The first thing that came in my mind, a pulse electromagnetic field, I'm thinking of the work I did for Niken, a multi-level magnetic company in the years past, and the work I did for other people, Dr. Neil Bonley, work I did when he was up in Canada and Alberta, and his Magnetico company, about proving the importance of a negative static electric field. Static electromagnetic field is something that doesn't pulse. It's always static. It's always the same. And that's important not to have the positive electrons. Those are disruptive. You've got to have a field that's above that where you absorb only the negatively charged electromagnetic pulses. Because if you don't do that, it scrambles your electromagnetic field over time. Now we proved that Niken is great for the short term. The magnets did wonderfully well for short, I'm talking maybe 48 hours worth of use, but after that it scrambled the electromagnetic field of the cells. So I basically said, you got to put warning labels. You should put warning labels on your Niken magnets. Don't use them long term. Where Dr. Dean Bonley's electromagnetic pad, his technology is you don't have to worry about those positive fields. You have the negative electrons that are causing the beneficial harmonics to happen at the cell level. So when we talk about pulsed electromagnetic frequency mats and pads, it's important to understand the pulsing. Okay. We're checking out the 2 leaders in the industry right now, the BEMER pad, the QRS pad, and we did earlier the iMRS pad. And the iMRS has a pulse electromagnetic field. It's clearly a 12 beat pulse. We heard it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then silence for a while, then pulsing it again. Your body will resonate much more to a pulsed field like that than a static field that's very likely putting more, if there's not the patented shielding on it, the electrosmog will be a problem. And this is what we're here to show today, is
Even when it's off.
even when it's off, the shielding is so critically important. That's the key patent, in my opinion, of the 5 QRS international patents. The key patent, in my opinion, is that shielding of the electromagnetic smog and the proof that they show that it removes electrosmog as you sleep, as you use the pot. It relieves that and balances the cells at the cellular level.
The QRS does.
Okay, let's see the other problem I see with the BEMER pad by this test. It doesn't really matter what the intensity is. Okay, where intensity. Let's go all the way down to.
That's off, right?
Yeah, it's off now. Let's go back to 2 on the intensity. We're down to only 2 intensity, and let's turn it on now. You hear that thing as it turned on?
It's the
Yeah.
Radio Shack.
Yeah, this is just amplifying the electromagnetic
So
field.
that's a little bit of a pulse. It's more like a waffle.
That's rapid. And notice,
Yeah, you have to turn that on.
you're actually picking up the field quite high off the pad. And the key thing is, the intensity is pegged at number 2.
Because it's so high.
It's hot. It's not uniform. It's higher on different areas of the body. Okay? You can see even on the number 2. Watch this. It's very high there. It dissipates here. It's very, very high right here.
Dr. Gilbert in Florida. Let me turn that down. Yeah, it's Dr. Gilbert in Florida, a chiropractor, found exactly the same thing.
Okay.
Very inconsistent field with the
Okay.
BEMER.
So look at here. Right here at this point,
Oh, there you go.
it goes weak. It's non-existent. But turn it over here, boom. That's an inconsistent field.
Excuse me.
I think it's shoddy workmanship, to say the least, because if you look at the way the pad is, when I looked at this, I was very stunned. That's pretty shoddy to me. It's got what looks like,
I mean, here are the coils.
mats, and you can see as it coming across. There's no wires on the outside here. We need to take it all out. I just want to show them just the basic confirmation of it. But you can see the horseshoe, the circular pad. That's about it. Let's turn this back on. You can see it doesn't really matter. The density is there.
I went to 0 over there.
It's just, there is no pulsing on a regular structured, and if you look at, again, the QRS patents that I reviewed, and believe me, I don't have the time to review. I could spend 40 hours a week for months and not get through all the literature. That's the importance of this. But what I have scanned through the literature with the QRS, the studies show, it's really important part of their patents to have a pulsing that's shielded correctly and then matches the biorhythms of the body. And doesn't matter what hemisphere you're on, southern hemisphere, northern hemisphere, what a continent you're on, your bodies are still going to go to what's called your biological rhythms, your clock. It's important to have the correct shielding. The patents were issued after a decade or more of intensive study. Okay, what bothers me, frankly, is you have a group of eminent scientists like Dr. Linus Pauling, 2-time Nobel Prize winner, and his team of German researchers. And the Germans are an amazing people as far as their innovations and their cutting edge technology for health and wellness. Here's my point. You have all of this information coming and culminating in 5 international patents showing the importance of a correct pulsed electromagnetic field on the body, and suddenly you have some companies wanted to jump on the bandwagon of this international patent and say, this is pretty cool stuff. Let's make one, let's cheapen it, and let's put it out in multi-level marketing and make people make money with it. But all at the same time, they're infringing on international patents. And frankly, I don't know why the QRS folks doesn't put a stop to this. The patents are there. The technology is there. It's research. You don't come on to somebody's research structure and claim that you're better and charge more money for it. That's the other thing. Twice as much money for a much inferior product. Again, that's my opinion professionally, researching both. We'll take a look at the QRS pad, this quality of construction, show the electromagnetic pulsing and how it's so incredibly different than the iMRS and especially the BEMER. The BEMER is far, in my opinion now, is far inferior to the iMRS, and the iMRS is far inferior to the QRS because I researched both. Okay?
Thanks.
I didn't mean American. Let's go. Let's push the stop. Let's go back to the intensity. Let's go up to 9. Okay, so we're now at 9. We'll see what the intensity levels are here. So it's pulsing. Okay, well, it doesn't matter whether it's on 2 or whether it's on 9. It's the same pegging of the magnetic field. The magnetic field is the same, and it doesn't really matter. It's showing the same hot spots, the same low spots. It's not uniform across the pad, is my point. Listen to this one. It's totally inconsistent. But you would think if it's at 2 or even 1 on their intensity level, that the magnetic field will show a resonant difference in the magnetic it's putting out. But it's showing the same pegging high field, whether it's on 9 or 10 or 1 or 2, and I think that's significant.
And if you stop it, but leave this on, so that's power. So if we stop it, okay, Electrosmog's still on, and if we turn off the machine, turn off the BEMER, is there Electrosmog still, like completely? Okay, it would have to stay plugged in. Okay, so now that's turned off, and guess what? The machine is completely off, and huge amounts of Electrosmog.
Showing that there's, and I'm frankly getting a little funky. I don't feel very well doing this right now because I make a living of testing houses that are full of electrosmog. A lot of older houses especially, or sick houses, because the wiring has not been insulated and shielded correctly, and people are coming down with chronic illnesses and they don't know why it is. So I was working with an actual bank and a doctor, a bank that was wanting to put mortgages out on older homes. I would go and give an electrosmog rating based on my equipment. The new standard code construction have very little electrosmog until some people bring in their hotspots of Wi-Fi, and then there's areas of the home that I can help them shield it from electrosmog. Okay, and that's what I do for a living. And then I come out and I can show the older houses where the wiring is bad and recommend that they put new wiring and new insulation to keep the electrosmog from being a problem. Because you can actually quantify it. This again is a German machine manufactured in Germany to gauge and test the actual electrosmog being put out and the flux. You have places in these old homes where you walk in and it just goes off the charts. It's electromagnetic trap. And see, because you can't really see it, hear it. Sometimes you have to identify it through this machine. And when you do that, there's remedies. You can restructure, rewire, and clean that part of the thing up. And again, it makes a huge difference in people's health. Children especially are very susceptible to it. It's my personal opinion that children that come up with childhood cancers like leukemia and things, they're in buildings and homes that have not been properly shielded with electrosmog. I've been trying to explain that to folks, but it's not really accepted yet by the mainstream media and mainstream doctors. But I think it's very much a key to understanding. Kids aren't supposed to get sick from these diseases. These kids don't deserve that. And I think this is part of a key to explaining why they do this and how they're developing. Remember, the children, especially our young ones, their cells are being regenerated and growing all the time. The bone marrow has to generate the right balance of blood cells, and etc. So any type of a mutation has to be caused. There's a causative factor. Genetics is part of it, surely. But if you're putting your children in a harmful magnetic field, I think that's putting them needlessly at risk. So, okay.
Well, let's just do it one last time because it's so hard to believe. The device is plugged in. Obviously has to be plugged in. Yeah, we should do that too. So the machine is off, but turn that electrosmog device, because this is we need to do that again with the iMRS. It's pumping you with electrosmog if you sleep on this all night. If you're on it and the machine shuts off, this is really crazy.
There's a harmful field. I think it's residual inside the pad when it's off. When I did this earlier, when I had the pad off, it doesn't show this. It's only when it's turned off, it's like it's residual inside the pad.
Well, let's see. I'm going to pull the plug. Let's pull the plug from the power. Okay. Let's see how long it lasts. It's got to go.
Yeah, it's going. It's going. There's hot spots of it.
So I would recommend if somebody has a BEMER.
Right there's a hot spot.
I mean, it's still going on. It's almost as if the mat is pulling electrosmog out of the air.
Yeah.
Okay. It's quite a bit thinner than the iMRS.
Quite a bit.
But it doesn't seem as, the production quality. I mean, look at that. That production quality versus this. That's kind of flimsy.
Yeah.
This is a much better produced mat.
Patty.
Yeah. More durable.
You need to show that.
Yeah. That's
really
pretty low quality. I mean, you're looking at,
You can see the coils.
the copper coils. Yeah, there's the BEMER copper coils. Very fragile. Copper coils will snap. One of the reasons iMRS says do not sleep on our mat. But QRS says you should sleep on ours because when we turn off at night, we pull electrosmog out of your body all night. We're protecting you all night.
Okay, get that off of there. Well,
Okay.
do your video and show the quality.
Yeah. Let's edit it. BEMER. Nice box design though. Very modern. And this is Senator Ted Alvarez's BEMER. So that's off the charts, huh?
And it doesn't pulse. That's one thing I found out about this was really quite amazing. It didn't pulse, it just stays a level.
Even if you go to a different setting?
It's just not pulsing.
And you can explain the lack of pulsing because of body happening.
Because of what? So you're not going by the numbers, or are those numbers higher? Oh, those numbers are quite a bit higher.
Quite a bit higher.
You can tell just by listening to them.
So it's not even a distinct signal.
And what's amazing about this it has higher flux densities at different parts of the mat. It's not uniform like the iMRSs.
Yeah, the iMRS is more uniform.
But the most important thing is you have no pulsing signal. It's just a massive field. What you see is the magnetic field here is pushing, it's just pegged in the red all the way. It's putting a high level of electromagnetism out without a pulsed electromagnetic field. The PEMF,
So it's running.
it's running. We can try bringing the intensity down. We're at level 9 intensity right now. So we can stop. Let's go down.
And notice we've stopped, and you still hear the electrosmog.
Yeah.
And it's could be
Let's go
because
down to
the
4.
external power supply cannot be brought into the machine and shielded.
We're going to hold down. It has to be. There it goes.
Actually,
Yeah, I'll put on.
Thank you.
How about 4?
actually, the third one of our party is not here anymore.
Oh, he passed on.
Okay, here we go. We have a model here. Let's start. Listen first of all with the sound.
Again, this is Senator Ted Alvarez's BEMER.
Very little on the head. As we come down, this is where the intensity of the pad starts to come in. It's really intense right through the thigh area, which is where it correlates with where we saw it in the pad before the body was on. Right through the knee area. And then it really dissipates down to the ankles.
I mean, it should be,
It should be uniform
Most
all the way across.
well, yeah, but more powerful down by the feet.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think the QRS is that as well.
That's the sound. So here we have, again, we come out to we see this away from the field. We have it set, and there's a 0 electromagnetic pulse. Okay, so let's move it so when it gets close to the field, you can see it there starts to pick up the electromagnetic field. And then we place it in that position, place it down to the pad.
So up here we see the pulse.
Yeah. There's a flux there. And notice how that was pegged completely when nobody was laying on it. Okay, as we come up here, we see there's no pattern to the pulsing. See how it's
So rapid. It's supposed to be a sawtooth.
Yeah, it is definitely sawing something.
Oops.
What happened with that?
And it came back on.
That's weird. Now we don't see the sawtooth, but we see the high field. There it comes. There's the pulsing, but now it's very, very high. Very high there. It is not uniform. It's and it starts to dissipate out here as we go away from it. Okay, the field is down to there, and then the field, and there it is again, high. It's uniform, no matter how the intensity is on the pad. To me, there's no difference in intensity as measured by the machines. Surely the control box is showing an intensity level difference, but I can't pick up a difference in intensity.
I mean, between 2 and 9 seems to be no difference.
Yeah,
Okay.
There's no difference to me. I can't see it. When my testing with it before, I noticed that to be quite amazing. There's no difference in the levels of intensity.
Okay.
Okay.
I hear pulsing.
That's where it's heaviest, right there. It's just so ununiform. That's the main thing. Okay, see, there's the difference. Okay.